We got some 11.1.5 stuff to talk about. Also, for Season 2 Mythic Plus, how's it looking compared to Season 1 when we look at the numbers? And a breakdown of the best DPS classes in Raid right now. We got some shit to get into. So pucker up, boys. It's time to penetrate. Here we go. Penetrate the news, by that I mean. Market research now available on Warband Transfer. That's right. So market research is your Darkview Solutions currency for getting that rep up. Now that is transferable via your Warband Transfer currency tab. So that's pretty great. Makes it easier for you to run with your alts, and you don't have to regrind this shit, so that's always a positive. Monday night hotfixes are in, and yes, the Race to World First is over, which means, your typical nerfing of Mythic bosses is now coming into effect. So here we go. We see Styx Bunkin Junker, one of the hardest 4th bosses ever put into a raid, according to how many times it killed them during Mythic progression, is getting nerfed again. So there we go, a bunch of nerfs across the board to his abilities here, making him a little bit easier for those of you trying to progress through Mythic raiding. The Dastardly Duo patch, here we go. 11.1.5 is bringing this new feature called Dastardly Duos, and evidently what this is basically you got 2 bosses that you'll be fighting. Right? It's like some kind of new challenge mode. You'll be fighting these bosses, trying to kill them, and we're learning more and more about this thing. Early on, we really didn't know much, but now we have a little bit more information. So based on data mine achievement, Dastardly Duos weekly wins and Dastardly Duos weekly high scores, so this will be scored. Now, how it's scored, we're not exactly sure yet, but there will be a scoring system involved in this, so you can rerun it over and over and push your scores higher and higher. The main objective is to win Dastardly Duo matches each week against bosses for 6 weeks. So this is going to change up every week for 6 weeks. There are options to gain new high scores each week with points earned from kills and damage done. Now, I don't know if this is for sure yet, but if it's a damage done thing, that kind of sucks, because then basically you can only really get high scores with a DPS class. If I'm running this with a Blood DK, I'm not going to get a very high score. Let's just, be real here. So we'll see if this actually remains true. But yeah, getting the kills, getting the damage done will give you higher scores, evidently based on this article here. Boss availability. During week 1, there will be 4 bosses available to fight, and each week thereafter, additional bosses will be added, up to 10 bosses in total. We have the list of bosses here. We'll go through them. It also looks like you'll be able to go back and retroactively do the other bosses. So say you start doing this shit in week 3, you could go back and do the bosses that were added in week 1 and week 2. Sure, blame your class. Yeah, because my class is totally going to out DPS a strictly DPS. Yeah, you're right, my bad. Dastardly Duo bosses, here we go. Baron Silverlane, we got Bragak, Chrono Lord, Chrono Lord is in there, okay. Foe Reaper 5000, yeah, from Dead Mines. Glubatok from the Dead Mines. What is this? Hydromancer, Thespian, who is he from? Steam Vault, okay, I've been to Steam Vault in a little while. Lord Walden from Shadowfang Keep, remember him? Mechagineer Streamrigger from Steam Vault, Rattle Gore from Sholo Mace, and then Watchkeeper Grolga, whatever that is, from Hellfire Ramparts. Oh my god, that's a throwback, man. So, yep, we got our bosses there. Why they chose these, I have no idea, but some interesting ones, some real throwbacks here in this rotation. Rewards. You get the Who Are the Dastardly Duos provides you with the Dastardly Banner. So that's a nice little banner toy there. And then the Tyrannosaur's Treat is a mount that you can get from Dastardly Duos upon completing another amazing week achievement. The achievement requirements are unknown at this point, but the mount is available for preview. So an armored albino turtle boy. This is actually a cool looking mount. So, doing the Dastardly Duos will get you this mount. This is something I'll definitely try to get for sure. This thing sounds cool, not just for the fact that it's another challenge mode added in the game. These are always fun, but there's a scoring system, which is interesting. Now, whether we're going to see a live scoring chart, updates, who knows how this is going to work. Is it going to be tracked like Gladiator scores and stuff like that? I guess that is yet to be seen, but a cool challenge mode added to the game is always fun. Hey Sam, new screenshots, press here. I don't even know what that is. Release of Snow White Just Drop. I'm not fucking clicking that. That shit's going to be controversial as hell. More crests and more hero track loot. How Mythic Plus Season 2 improves despite lower run numbers. So the numbers are lower, it looks like, for Season 2. Now, typically that's probably, usual for a Season 2, whereas Season 1, it's a new expansion launch. You got all kinds of shit going on. The hype is real, so more people are going to be participating because of that. So let's see what the numbers look like here if we break them down. Participation numbers, we got completed and timed keys. So looking across the board, completed dungeons and time. Wow, what the hell? Priory. A lot of people doing it, but not completing it. Interestingly enough, the first thing you'll notice is the distribution across the dungeons is much more even in Season 2, which says that's a good thing. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see uneven Mists was clearly the easiest dungeon of Season 1. A lot of people loved running Mists because it was the easiest, so look at that. Yeah, clearly the numbers show the love for Mists, while, the rest of these, not so much. We got Stone Vault and the rest down here at the bottom. So here we see a nice even, look at that. That's almost exactly even when you look across the board for these dungeons. Less timed, I guess, some of these, but the numbers overall, yeah, a bit lower. So let's check out exactly what's going on here. Overall, the amount of completed runs is about 17.46% lower than in week 1 of Season 1. The average time amount is also 0.7 percentage points lower. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Looks like we're getting less timed keys, which maybe is a good thing. Maybe that means more less experienced people are participating. If you want to give it a positive twist, that's the only thing I could actually think of there. Yo, what up, Justin? How's it going? Other than that, less timed keys. It's interesting because this season is actually easier than the last one. The latter is mostly due to the rough tuning within the first 7-8 hours. So they're trying to give a reason here for why there's less completed keys. On the upside, we see an even spread in general across dungeons. Yep, that's what I was mentioning. They range from 11.56 to 13%. Meanwhile, in Season 1, it was 8.92 to 19.24% for Mists. People love Mists in that first season. So that shows a more even percentage there. Key levels. If we look at the comparison of key levels here, how are they? Again, to me, this says we got more new people participating. You got a lot more even distribution across the keys here, whereas you got a +2 and then a big drop-off in Season 1. Let's see how they break this down. Comparing both first week per key level, we see a massive bloat for Season 1 within the first 5 key levels. This shows a major reason for the drop-off from the season to season. But once we get into the overlap of the former and the current Gilded Crest territory, a 9 and above, in early Season 1 versus 7 and above in Season 2, we clearly see equal or even higher numbers completed in Season 2. For the direct comparison, so they're using the numbers here in terms of the awards, right? Because Blizzard pushed the awards down the chain. So you get better awards earlier on in Season 2. So that, I guess, is accounting for why we see the numbers we're seeing here in terms of where you're getting Gilded Crests. And, yeah, they're right. I mean, look at 6 to 8. Which is, where you're starting to get Gilded Crests right here. So that's really good. We're seeing good numbers here, good participation when you're looking at in percentage Season 1 versus Season 2 time. So yeah, I think that's looking better. That's looking better in Season 2. They see the same here. For direct comparison, 144% more keys were completed on a level 10 during that recent first week, and their success rate was also a lot higher. So that's good. More success, more people doing those. Yeah, facts, for sure. I think a lot of people will stop doing Mythic Plus when they get to the 3K. That's also true. That's a good point, DJ. More people are pushing higher keys, potentially because of the 3K reward, which was never available in Season 1, never available in any prior season. But yes, that 3K IO mount is surely something people are chasing, and maybe a good reason why we're seeing some really high key pushing early on here. So, interesting point there. I completely forgot about that. The massive difference for a level 10 vault runs in detail. So looking at this, what is this showing? Completed in time, Season 1, keys for level 10. Level 10, oh wow, this is a big difference here. We see, okay, so for reference, this is 20,000 right here, 20,000. So nobody hit 20,000. While in Season 2, we got over 20,000 every single dungeon in terms of completed runs. So,
always use another
Alex coming in with the sub. Thank you so much for the sub, man. I appreciate that a lot. Death Knight of our Scourge coming in hot 4 months in a row. Speaking of the key level 10, the highly sought after source, Abyss Vault gear from the first week. The numbers from the start of Season 2 look a lot better. The dungeon spread in Season 1 was heavily skewed, right? We see Mists again just popping off in the first season. Meanwhile, the general pattern of Season 2 is almost identical, even on really high key levels, for such an early moment in the season. The Season 2 dungeons with the worst success rate on this level, Priory at 32%, is still above half of the dungeons in Season 1, and leaving the worst one out, only Mists of Tyrannosaith and Arakara were decent competitors for the rest of the dungeons. Again, I think the dungeon mix for Season 1, first of all, is just way better in general. But it turns out the dungeon difficulty is also way better. Again, looking at these numbers, just such an even spread compared to Season 1, which makes the season so much better because nobody wants to run the same fucking key the entire season. That just creates a horrible feeling the entire season. Plus, anybody who gets a shitty key now has to queue up for the other people's keys. It's not a good thing. So, much better place for the season to be in. Huge changes and improvements to crest drops. Most definitely, the changes and improvements I feel like did improve the entirety of this season in terms of when you get crests and how they all work. War Within Season 2, comparing the average outcome per key level. Ignoring total numbers, we clearly see that on any relevant key level in Season 2, Week 1, you would get up to double the amount of crests. So yeah, more rewarding. We talked about this early on, why Delve participation was so much higher in the first season, why Mythic Plus participation was lower, was just more rewarding to go do a Delve and less challenging. So yeah, lowering the keys where these rewards were dropping, I think is a big reason why you see higher participation. In conclusion, we clearly see a decline in total overall run numbers from season to season. As I said, expected when a Season 1 expansion drops. You're just going to have higher numbers of people playing in general. However, the quality of the experience has improved, as well as the general outcome of doing Mythic Plus. And with that in mind, we can make a clear argument that you don't have to run that many keys to get a similar outcome compared to last season. There you go. So yeah, nice conclusion there. It's good with higher entry level to basic tuning and rewards. For Season 1, it is more as a high-end gearing and progression system these days, which is also very true. The question will go forward, will comparatively more characteristics make their way into Mythic Plus later in the season? We'll have to see. I think people will push for that 3K IO, continue to push those higher keys. Overall, I think Season 2 is way better than Season 1. There's no comparison. Even if the numbers maybe are a little bit down, the evenness and spread of it all, it looks so much better, I think. And that's what the numbers are showing right now. This is only my opinion. I stopped playing Season 1 when I got Keystone Master and AOTC. For me, there is not a difference between Season 1 and Season 2. I got AOTC now. I need between 500 to 600 points to get 3K. After that, I will probably stop. And that's okay. You don't have to keep pushing keys. If you don't see a reason to, there's no reason to. But overall, it's good, I think, the spread and everything else. It's just a healthier season to run. It's just a healthier season. 1 minute late today. I was like 30 seconds late. Jesus Christ. Finally, looking at Liberation of Undermine, let's get into raid a little bit. Here is an interesting chart to look at when it comes to raiding. So we see here on the x-axis, heroic raid DPS. So this is who's doing the most DPS. And then we got the number of parses, which would give you basically a breakdown of the number of people playing that specific class. So if you're down here in this corner, basically you're doing shitty DPS and nobody's playing your class. And if you're up here in this corner, you're doing amazing DPS and a lot of people are playing your class. So looking at these numbers right here, yeah, people love to play Retribution Paladin even when it's not that good. That's what this tells me right here. Right now, Retribution Paladin is on the lower half, if you divide the halfway mark here, on the lower half of DPS, but people are playing the shit out of it. Oh my god, people just love playing Rat Pally. I don't know what it is. Maybe they love the lore of the class, they just love how it plays, love how it feels. Yeah, Pally gang indeed. Pally for the win. If we look over here, the best DPS is actually coming out of Windwalker Monk right now, if you're looking at the highest parses right now. But it is one of the lesser played classes, right? Down here on the numbers chart, they are below the halfway mark, it looks like. So not a lot of people playing Windwalker. Maybe more people should. We also got Enhancement Shaman, Fury Warriors doing much, much better, and Havoc Demon Hunter. So right now, if we try to see, I guess, what's the most played best DPS right now, it'd be Havoc Demon Hunter based on this chart. What is the least played? Oh, and lowest Arcane Mage. Yeah, don't play Arcane Mage. Nobody's playing Arcane Mage. And evidently their DPS is fucking wet trash as well. So, yeah, there you go. Sam, can you link that? Yeah, I can link this chart for sure. I'll link this article in the chat. It's also always linked down below in the YouTube video if you ever want to find it later on. We got Frost here, Unholy. So what's the mid-tier? If we look at the midline, Marksmanship Hunter, mid-level play, also mid-level DPS. Fire Mage doing really good for mages here, a bit more played and a bit more DPS. I think typically that's what you'll see. Again, the outliers, Beast Mastery Hunter and Retribution Paladin. People love to play, people love bestiality. That's what this tells me right here. And people just love playing with the light. There you go, Retribution Paladin. Interesting numbers, always fun to look at this stuff. If we look at the popularity again, Havoc Demon Hunter for top DPS, Havoc Demon Hunter, Windwalker Monk, Enhancement Shaman, Furry Warriors. Everyone loves furries. And then high DPS, low popularity, Outlaw Rogue, Affliction Warlock, Ass Rogue, Sub-Titty Rogue. Man, rogues are doing pretty damn good. Arms Warrior, Devastation Evoker, Shadow Priest. And then the low DPS, high popularity, Ret Pally, as I mentioned, Beast Mastery Hunter, Balanced Druid, Frost Mage, and then low DPS, low popularity, Arcane Mage, Survival Hunter, Frost DK. So there you go. Always fun to look at these numbers. We'll keep these up to date as we go through the season, see where they all kind of land at the end of the day. I'll link this in the chat for you guys. And that is all, really, in terms of a numbers breakdown today and the news.